Hello and welcome to a new episode of the Yarnflakes Podcast. My name is Audrey and this is a nitty yarny podcast from the southwest of France. Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me this week. I hope you're all doing very well, that November started nicely for you. I am doing well. It is bright and sunny today and I have a really cool episode for you guys. I have finished 3 things and as a consequence cast on new projects instead of finishing a certain long whip. But yeah, so lots of movement in this week's episode. I also have some pretty yarn to share because I was very lucky and I won an Instagram giveaway. So yeah, lots of things to talk about. I also have a pattern release which I will talk about in just a minute. And yes, you can find timestamps for all the different sections in the description down below. So if you want to skip anything, feel free to look at that. And I also put links to everything that I talk about, as well as my social media and patterns for sale on Ravelry. So yes, I think I can start. And before getting into the elephant in the room, I just want to say that I just published another pattern on Ravelry and it's a little tiny project that you've already seen, and it's the bath mittens. So you've seen them as I was finishing them because they took me like a day to knit. It's a really quick project if you have any Christmas gifts to make. It uses fingering weight / sport weight yarn depending on the type of yarn you want and how you knit. And yes, it uses scraps really, less than 100 meters for both if you make one of the smaller sizes. And yeah, it has Colourwork and these leaf motif here. And as far as construction goes, there's a thumb gusset happening here. So the pattern comes in 4 different sizes and there are charts for right mitten, left mitten. I give loads of indications and help regarding how to read the chart and how to handle the little color work in case you're unfamiliar with mitten constructions and or color work. Most of my testers were fairly beginners at mitten making, and they did a fantastic job, and we worked really well at making the pattern as good as possible for you guys. And although I do recommend that you have some experience reading from a chart, all of my testers succeeded eventually, and we agreed that the key thing is just to trust the pattern because everything is in there. You don't need to guess anything from me. Like I said, I made charts for everything, notes for everything, so everything is there, and fear not. It's a really quick, small project, so if you want to give it a try and you have some experience reading from a chart, or you feel like you want to do something a little bit different. I don't want to say it's a challenge, it's not really a challenge. There's nothing complicated in it. There's a couple of stitches in the motif that are maybe a little bit unusual, but I've made video tutorials for each of them. And the stitch count in the leaf increases, so it makes the mitten look a little bit awkward, but the mitten chart I mean, but yeah, I've put notes everywhere explaining everything, so I'm not selling my pattern really well, am I? What I mean to say is that you don't need to be afraid. There's a lot of charts in this pattern because there's lots of sizes and there's a chart for each one. There's a couple of notes, so yeah. You don't need to be afraid when you see the pattern because it is really accessible. And yes, so I knitted mine out of leftovers that I had of Wool fingering, which is 100% wool and span finish non-superwash wool. in the colorways Valo, Tuni and Wheel. And so my testers used a variety of yarns, which made it really useful for me to kind of give helpful tips on how to choose the yarn. I do recommend that you use a yarn that's firm, so no drape if possible. So you need to, if possible, avoid superwash, worsted span, and like really slick fibers that has alpaca and silk and things like that, things that will drape. You risk having something that grow lengthwise when you block them. So if you're not sure about the yarn you want to use, swatch. Wash them, because wash the yarn to swatch, because you risk having a really big difference in size. And so yeah, if you're uncertain of the type of yarn you're using, I'd recommend swatching, or really it's so quick to do, so you can just make a mitten and check that everything is fine. And if it's not, well, you can knit a size smaller or knit tighter. Yeah, really, you really need to pay attention to the gauge and how it stays the same once you wash and wear the mittens. So this is why I kind of recommend yarns that don't drape, that stay firm, like more rustic types of yarn. So, but you will see that some of my testers had success making these mitts out of merino yarn. So it really depends on how you knit, and if you're confident enough in the gauge that you get and the final size, so that you can maybe choose a size down if necessary. But yes, there is a little coupon code on Ravelry for the release of the pattern. The code VATS will give you 15% off until next Monday. So everything is written in the description under the video, so you can check it out if you like. Yeah, they were really fun to make and design, so I hope you liked them too. That's it. First pattern release of November, and yeah, I have 3 finished objects, and I'm going to talk about this. So I finished my wool and honey sweater, which is a pattern by Andrea Mowry that I knitted out of Holst Supersoft in Nougat colorway. And yes, I got enough yarn, so I only used 4 cakes of Holst Garn, because I had a dilute situation happen with the extra 30 grams I had. So this is only 200 grams of yarn, and as you can see, it's not dramatically short. It's even longer than what Andrea Mowry says you should knit it to. The sleeves are the right length as well, and yeah, I knitted size small, which gave me the fit I wanted. It's so nice. I love it. I really love the neckline. I do appreciate a round neckline that is close to the neck from time to time, so I really like it. I did knit the ribbing a little bit longer as well here than what I think you're supposed to do. But yes, so obviously the thing are those honeycomb shapes that are made with elongated stitches, and I really like it. The sweater is light thanks to the yarn. It's not heavy at all, so the garter stitch it's not going to move. It barely moved when blocking. I just smoothed everything, and yeah, I think it's going to be a great sweater to wear. It's comfortable. I don't get itchy with Holst Garn, even around my neck. So I really like it. One thing is that when I started making the ribbing at the bottom and at the sleeves. I thought I had made a mistake here, because for the neckline you do one by one ribbing, but for the body and the sleeves you do 2 by 2, and I don't know why they don't match. I guess 1 by 1 is finer for the neckline. I do prefer the look of 2 by 2, so if I had given this some thought, maybe I would have done the 2 by 2 here, even though I'm not so sure. I understand why she didn't in the end, because if it was wider here, maybe it would take away from the honeycomb, and 2 by 2 looks definitely better here. So yeah, it's just something that kind of bugged me when I started the ribbing, and I thought I made a mistake from the start. But yeah, I really enjoyed knitting on it. I highly recommend it. It's really fun to do. I love this technique. I was experimenting with it myself for future designs before starting the sweater, and then I realized it's the same principle. You know, it's just you wrap the yarn several times around your needle, and then you can make fun things with it to create shapes. And it's easy. It's really cool, and I like how this one just sits here in the corner, and then you have the one on the sleeves. Oh, and I meant to show you, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell, you know, I was talking to you about the sort of fake seam that's happening at the back, where the, can you actually see what I'm trying to say? I don't know. You know, when you, where is it? Because if I touch it, maybe I can see it. No, I can see it. With the change from knit to purl, because you're using garter stitch in the round, and so you have a little jog of texture happening, and it doesn't shock me now that it's blocked, and also it's on my back, so I don't see it. But yeah, it's something that you must know when you start the sweater. And yes, I think it looks really cool. I'm so happy I did it. Yay. It's done. And yeah, I think I said everything about it. I've been working on it for quite some time now, so you've heard a lot about it, but just it's just about showing it now, and look, it looks cool. So can you tell I'm really happy? I have 2 other finished objects, and I'm going to start talking about them right now. The first one is, it's the Colourwork hat that I started last time, and I was knitting this for my boyfriend, so it's going to be one of his Christmas presents, and it's finished. And now you can see the motif. I didn't say last time, it's a decay weight hat, so I knitted it out of leftovers that I had. This is Drops Lima, and this is Wool but Söcke, which are both quite natural yarns. Yep, that work really well for Colourwork, and I really like this motif. So I kind of drew it myself and modified it from some, I don't even remember how, the shape is something that I took, I forgot how it looks originally inside, I just kept modifying. But yes, if you remember last time I was a bit concerned about the size, so I can't find the jog, because obviously there's a jog at some point, I can't find it. Good thing. I was a bit concerned about the size, because now I have my hair in a braid, so it's a bit tricky. And I did undo what I did last time and just knitted the hat on a slightly larger needle, because I tried it on as it was last time and it fitted, but the Colourwork was really stretched. So I knitted it on a slightly larger needle size, and now it's better, it's not so stretched, and I think it should fit. It's nice and snug, especially with my thick hair in the braid that I took. It took me a while to braid my hair, and now I just ruined it because I put the hat on. But yeah, this is how it looks on me. I think it's going to be okay on my boyfriend, I hope. If not, you know, it's, yeah, I undid it and reknitted all of it in a day, so if I have to remake it for him, it's not going to be a problem. But yeah, the size is right, and so I'm going to be able to write it as a pattern. Maybe for this winter, I'll see, because I really like it. It was fun to do, quick DK weight hat, they're fun, and yay. It doesn't have a name, because my boyfriend is in charge of picking the name and he still hasn't, so Marius, what are you doing? So yeah, if you want me to write up that pattern and publish it, just yell at my boyfriend to pick a name. Yeah, this is finished object number 2. And the last one is my Poppa shawl, which you all seem to love so much. I get so many compliments on it every time I show it, so ta-da! Can you see? You can't see anything. So, I finished it! Yay! It is blocked as well. I need to take some pictures. So this is my Poppa shawl, so it's a new design as well. It's an asymmetrical triangle. As you can see, you start right here, cast on a little bit of stitches, and you increase on one side. You start incorporating some mosaic, some brioche, more mosaic, more brioche, and you end up with, again, a little bit of mosaic and tassels. So I did put my tassels in, and I think they look really cute. Obviously they're optional, but yeah, I really like them personally. So it is finished. I need to write up the pattern. So it uses fingering weight yarn in 3 colors. The main color I used less, I'll show you my leftovers. I used less than 600 meters, and for the 2 contrast colors I used like barely 50 meters of one and like 40 meters of the other, and it still made a pretty sizable shawl. So yay. Tassels. I really like it. My mother does too. She keeps stealing my shawls. She owns 2 of my shawl designs and she stole 3 again. But yeah, so I'm looking for testers for this. So I would need a couple more testers. So if you would like to test it, please send me a private message on Instagram. Don't write here on YouTube. I cannot communicate with you on YouTube. So if you want to test it, send me a message on Instagram, please. The deadline is like January the 7th. At first I put like mid-December, but then I had some news from other projects that are going to be really a little bit on a tighter schedule. So I just pushed it, and it's like 7th of January. You have a couple of months to knit it. It's a quick knit. It's simple brioche, and as far as the mosaic goes, I did video tutorials explaining how it works. So hopefully they're good enough and clear. But yeah, I need to take pictures of it. I really like it. It's nice. But yeah, it's going to get into testing as soon as I actually write the pattern. It's written, I just need to format everything and translate it to French. And yay, it's going to be for next year. But yeah, I'm really excited about it and happy that it is done, so that I can move on to more projects now. And yes, we're on to works in progress. And I think I forgot to show you. Yeah, I have a little bit of leftovers for the Poppa shawl. So I kept these so that everyone will be safe regarding how much yarn you need. So the two 20 gram minis that I had from the start, I still have almost 10 grams of each, and here's 10 grams as well. So that way, with my original plan, which is of using 150 gram and two 20 gram minis, that way everyone should be good, and you could even modify it very easily to just add and completely finish your yarn if you wish to. But yeah, I just kept these and I'm going to use them for probably heels, toes, for socks. But yes, I can now move on to works in progress, and I think there's no point in me showing you my socks, the vanilla socks I'm knitting, or the Saunders poncho, which still hasn't moved. So I am actually going to talk to you about two new cast-ons, and the first one is a sweater design that I hope will happen this year. It depends if I can finish it by early next year and release it end of winter, beginning of spring, yes. If not, might have to wait next autumn. I'll see, because it's a DK/worsted weight sweater, and it is knitted out of Brusca yarn from Retrosaria, and it's this, I've talked to you about this, I think. It's going to be a yoke, a Colourwork yoke with a cabled body. So yes, there's that. And I'm going to knit it out of, so this is the color 5C, which everyone loves and I think is out of stock everywhere. And this is the colorway 13C, which is this beautiful marled blue. So yeah, the body is going to be in this caramel, which is gorgeous, and the Colourwork yoke is going to be using this. And so far I have a sleeve. It's going to be a bottom-up sweater, because I want it to be loose fitting on the body, and my problem is, so it's going to be my first time designing a yoke, and my problem is it's easier for me to just make the body the size I want and then figure out what I do with the yoke, because if I need to take care of the yoke and the increases in the Colourwork, although I'm going to do it fairly simple because I have bands of Colourwork, so the increases are going to be in between the motifs. If I have to deal with that and kind of guess how long I need this to be to get the right width, and juggle with the sleeve circumference and no. I decided it was easier for me to just do a bottom up, and I'm starting with the sleeves because I think it's a good idea, and then the body will have the cables, so it won't be too much of a problem. Because the reason I don't enjoy bottom up so much is because full stockinette sleeves and body, to start a project, it's just not for me. I get bored easily, and yes, then you have the nice Colourwork bit for the end, but you have to get there, and until you get there, your project just doesn't look so good, and so you're like, eh. That's how I feel about it. But if it has cables on the body, then yeah, cool. It's probably going to be a little bit more motivating for me. And on top of that, it's like a really thick yarn, so it's going to knit really, really fast. So I started the sleeve, I'm trying to figure out how to fit them. I want them to be fitted, as you can see, and rather long. I did a 2x2 rib. I'm knitting on 4mm needles. And yeah, I don't know why I'm magic looping these sleeves. I decided to do that. Usually I knit my sleeves on a small circular. But yeah, I've been using a small circular for the sleeves here. I was knitting rather small on socks and things, and so yeah, I didn't want to again have a small circumference thing, so I decided to magic loop the sleeves. But yeah, that's what I have so far. I'm really enjoying the Bruska yarn. It has a really nice dry feel. It's not prickly at all. It's really next to skin for me. It's one of the dry natural yarns compared to the itchy natural yarns. And I don't know if you're going to be able to tell, but there are some nuances in, yeah, you can see you have bits that are lighter. You even have some points that I felt were like really had more reddish tone to them. I really like it. It's great. And I just noticed as I was casting on the Bruska labels here, it says knit better, wear longer, waist less, waist longer. Knit better, wear longer, waist less, which I think is amazing. Using a great quality yarn for a sweater is going to last longer. It's just really cool to be working on. So I am very excited about this. I'm hoping that I am not going to have too much trouble figuring out the math and grading, because yeah, I've done raglan, now I'm trying to make yokes and I'm not starting with an easy one because I want cables and things. But yes, I just decided to do this because it's thick yarn and maybe I can make it for this season. But yeah, we'll see. The Colourwork is already drawn. It might need modification depending on the height of the yoke that I end up wanting. But yeah, I'm happy that I started on it. It has a name. It's going to be the Rumi sweater, which means stone, I think, in Quechua, I believe. I think. But I just thought it was a cute word, Rumi. It probably means various different things in various different languages anyway. But yes, I have one last whip to share with you, and it is finally I started the weekender sweater that I am knitting for my mother for her birthday, which is coming fairly soon. What's happening with the yarn here? Yes, so the weekender sweater is another pattern by Andrea Mowry. It is, you know, everyone knitted it. But yes, I started, and so it has a split hem at the bottom with the back longer. So I did that, and I just joined to start knitting the body in the round. It's another bottom up, so I hope I'm not going to be too bothered by it. But it's really thick yarn. Well, it's really thick yarn. No. It's 5mm needles, which is still less than what Andrea Mowry uses for her yarn. I think she uses Shelter by Brooklyn Tweed, I don't know. But I wanted to use Mungo from Retrosaria again. It's the Retrosaria episode, which is a beautiful blend of recycled cotton and wool. And it has this really nice heathered look. This is 3, the color 3. It's this denim blue. I really like it. My mom wanted a sweater in this color. She liked the yarn, she liked the feel of it. It's cotton, you know, it's not super soft, but it doesn't pose any issue. And so I started it, and I hope that it's okay, because I saw people knit their weekender out of this, and I didn't swatch for gauge. Was it Ellie that said Ellie from Scandir that said on a recent episode that she hated swatching but she loved gauge? I totally get that and feel the same. I don't like swatching, but I love looking at my gauge and understanding it and figuring out what I like. I'm just going to have to knit some more here, because I'm afraid the yarn is too thin and it's going to be really see-through, because you can see the ribbing, which was knit on 4.5 millimeter. It's a bit loose. I don't mind, it's like a rustic look, but I just hope that so the sweater is reverse stockinette facing, you knit, but then it's the wrong side out. See? And so I just hope that it's going to look good and that I won't have to go down in needle size. And I don't even know if I'm on gauge. I just need to knit a little bit and then measure and see what's happening. But yeah, I think it's going to go really fast, because I did this in like a couple of hours at night. I just did the ribbings and joined. And yeah, I just need to knit on it a little bit. I'm probably going to knit on it while I no, I need to work on my design sweater. Not going to knit on it while I edit the podcast. So I'll see this weekend. I'm going to do some progress on it and check that everything is fine, and if not, I'll go down a needle size and hopefully it will still be the right size. I'm knitting the medium size for my mom, which fits. I measured a sweater that she liked and it matches, so hopefully I can get it right. But yes, I think that's all I've been making this week. So yeah, as you can see, we're renewing things finally, and yeah, I think that once I finished the weekender for my mom, I'm really going to focus on my alpaca poncho that I have started last May, I believe. This might not seem a lot for people, but for me this is really weird, having a whip that span over almost 6 months now. But yeah, I'm going to finish the weekender for my mother because time, birthday, and then I will do my alpaca poncho. I said it, you have to make me do it. When I finish my weekender, you have to forbid me from casting on another sweater, another personal sweater. Please remind me. I need to finish my poncho for this winter. I am always afraid that I have a lipstick on my teeth, but it's fine. So I will finish this episode just by sharing a really pretty yarn that I won. So a couple of weeks ago, Gregoria Fibers, which I'm sure you know on Instagram, she is a dyer from Spain. She uses non-superwash natural yarns and she is a natural dyer. She has a really soft, muted colors, really nice, gentle universe. She had a giveaway on Instagram and she was offering some skeins that she dyed, and guess who won? I did. I woke up last Monday and checked my phone and I saw, congratulations Yarnflakes, you won. What? Excuse me? So I was super happy and so thankful, because I really like her yarns and her universe. It's a luxurious work that she does. She puts a lot of effort into it. It's natural dyeing and she dyes on non-superwash, interesting basis. So it's something that is so special, and so I am really proud to have those skeins that I probably wouldn't have had if I didn't win them. And I love them. So it's 3 skeins of her Lush Decay weight, and it's a BFL and Mashem. Yes, it's a BFL and Mashem blend. It's 75% BFL. Mashem, not Mashem, sorry. 75% BFL, so Blue Face Leicester, and Leicester, 25% Mashem. Oh, but French is so weird. It's not pronounced like it's written. Blue-faced Leicester and Mashem. I'm going to go like this. Sorry, just being picky with my fellow English people who have a really weird language, even though they don't want to admit. So I love BFL. I have never tried Mashem, but I've heard loads about it, and I really wanted to give it a go. And it's heathered. It has these little bits of darker fibers in it. I really, really like it. So it's a single ply. It's a DK, and it's the cider sweater color. So it's this grayish beige, a little bit yellowy on some bits. Some bits are darker. It's a really, really nice natural. It's really grassy in some way, like dry grass. I really, really like it. Yeah, and it is so soft and squishy. It's really, really enjoyable, and I can't wait to play with it. I got 3 skeins. I mean, that was hell of a giveaway. And so I have 600 meters, and I'm definitely going to be designing something with this. I said it to the lady behind Gregoria Fibers, and yeah, I think maybe for next winter I'm going to figure. I have an idea of a shawl. I need to see what works with it, because it's a single ply. I need to play around and see definition wise what I can do as far as texture goes, maybe cables, but yeah, I really want to make a cozy winter shawl for this for next year. And yeah, I'm just going to show you her labels. So if you don't know how it worked, go have a look at her Instagram and shop, because I really like what she does. I think she's currently releasing a new chunky base for all of you who like chunky sweaters. But yeah, this is the Lush Decay, and it's so cool. I really like it. And yes, so happy me, I won something. I should have played the lottery on that same day, because yeah, there was a lot of people on that giveaway, so ha! I got it. But yeah, that's it for this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you next week with I don't know, maybe I'll have hopefully advanced on the new sweaters that I cast on. And yeah, I'll probably have new things to show. Actually no, because they're going to be secret. Yeah, I'm going to have a couple of projects soon, design projects that are on really short deadlines. It's okay though, it's manageable. It's manageable for me. I just need to find testers that want to suffer through a really quick test knit. But they're small projects, so they should be fine. And yes, but they're going to be secrets, so there might be some time where I won't have much progress to share. Well, it's okay. Yeah, I hope you will have a really lovely week. Yeah, mid-November, guys. I haven't done half of my Christmas gift knitting. I will see you next time. Wish you a very happy day, and yeah, bye bye.